essential qualities, guts and tenacity, single-mindedness and perseverance. The machine, 18 pounds of chrome molybdenum, steel, wire, rubber and leather. Every component part engineered for strength, lightness, efficiency and speed. The battleground, over 1,000 miles of roads crisscrossing England and Wales. The battle, the 25th anniversary of the milk race. Bournemouth is the host town for the start of the race, and the prologue, a series of high-speed time trials fought out over a 2-mile course through the town and along the seafront. These trials are a preliminary test of a rider's ability and an opportunity for pundits to pass judgment on possible performance over the next 2 weeks. But the trials can be misleading. The short circuit bears little relationship to the main battle yet to come. But points gained here count towards overall position in the race, and every man pushes his abilities to the limit. Behind each cyclist, a motorbike carries a spare racing cycle. Time of the day went to Hans-Petter Udegaard, a 22-year-old Norwegian. The milk race offers little opportunity for competitors to admire the view. At 10:30 the next day, the cycling marathon begins. 72 top international riders in teams of 6 move off as one. Coming from Czechoslovakia, Denmark, France, Ireland, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Switzerland, the USA and the USSR, with the host country allowed to field 2 teams, England and Great Britain. This year the race is particularly tough, and to be among these elite riders you have to be a hard man. Suffering comes in large doses. Before them, 1,150 grueling miles fought over 12 days with 4 to 5 hours a day in the saddle. For the riders, a seemingly endless battle against hills and mountains, wind and rain, and time. Telegraph Hill in the West Country, a grinding 2-mile climb. If this is classed as a 3rd category climb, many of the riders must wonder what they had let themselves in for on the major climbs. The winner on this first stage to Paynton, the Russian Yuri Kashirin, a railway worker from Rostov. For the riders, only 2 things matter now. The relief the masseur brings to tired limbs, and rest. British champion Bob Downs is among the top riders in the race, but on the first stage he hasn't found his true form. Interest in the race is worldwide, and a temporary press room is set up at the end of every stage. The judges hardly have time to set up shop and make their decisions about the day's racing before they and the whole travelling cavalcade that is the milk race is on the move again. The race is rated to be one of the best organised events of its kind in the world. To keep 72 riders on the road for 14 days requires a backup team of almost unbelievable size. The strongest team in this year's race comes from the Soviet Union.
funny, the contrast between the American bikes, which are tailored to fit us, compared to the Russian riders, which have bicycles that are not tailored. They're just thrown on stock bikes and expected to go up the road as fast as they possibly can and beat all the Europeans. And they do, as a matter of fact. They don't fit their bicycles, they don't look smooth on their bikes. They're very strong and very, very fast. And when you look over next to you and you see a Russian on these tatty old looking Italian-made bikes that could be 5 or 6 years old, and the equipment is just terrible. And you think, well, God, this guy's no good. There's no way that he can beat me. But when they go up the road, I tell you, it's very, very hard to stay on their wheels.
The milk race is not, in fact, as straightforward as it appears. But within the framework of the main event, a series of competitions are taking place. For example, the best hill climber and the best sprinter. And these prizes are far from easily won. But the most sought-after prize is the yellow jersey, awarded each day to the man who has covered the course thus far in the shortest possible time. To win this jersey, the rider has to possess way above average ability in every aspect of cycling. He must be able to climb, sprint, and above all, survive the many attacks that will come from the other riders. After 56 miles, number 34, Jørgen Pedersen, the Danish national champion, breaks away alone. But he is eventually overtaken by the Russians, who have swept along with a series of swift, forceful attacks. A close finish, a matter of inches. But once again, a Russian rider wins the day. Oleg Shubda. Stage 3 takes the riders into Wales. 76 miles from Porthcawl to Aberystwyth, one of the toughest stages of the race. An easy start through small mining villages, but ahead, the fearsome prospect of the Welsh mountains. Billy Kerr, the popular rider from Ireland, at 37, the oldest man in the race, takes off alone and puts on an astonishing performance. He eventually won 2 major mountain climbs before the rest of the field caught up with him. Cruel, twisting climb. The Soviets are now putting on an impressive show of pressure at the front of the race, and at the tail end, things are starting to fall apart. Already, riders are dropping out. On all stages over 100 miles, feeding stations are set up along the route, but it's strictly meals on wheels. Even the English don't stop for tea. On the last sprint into Aberystwyth, Bob Downs of Great Britain is the only British rider in the first 6. His teammates are so far back as to be in a different